Hey, what's up, Exit the Matrix family? Bob here. Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for joining me on this morning talk. Hey, quick update. Still don't have Facebook back, so any of you that were with me over on Facebook, Exit the Matrix, make sure you go down to the descriptions after you watch or listen to this video, and make sure you come join the new backup page I'm building for now, Exit the Matrix Reborn. That is me, and yes, I know it's a brand new page, so there's not a whole lot of people on it right now. It's been hard getting traction, but anyways, guys, come find me over there. And when I get my page back, because I will, even if I got to get a lawyer, I'll get my page back. When I do, I'm going to make that the backup page, and that's going to be built simultaneously for the future, so that if this ever happens again, I should have been doing it. I don't know why I didn't. It's probably because I spent so much of my time on building my social media accounts that I spent so much time on X and Instagram and these ones that just gained no traction. I should have been just building a second Facebook page, but anyways, it is what it is. But anyways, guys, so I wanted to talk about NPCs today. I've started noticing that this thing is starting to go kind of mainstream, the NPC thing. And, 3-4 years ago when I started talking about this stuff, there were only a few people out there talking about it. But honestly, once you study into quantum mechanics, quantum physics, and all the research I've done over the ancient texts, about the Vedics, talking about Maya, the illusion, the Nag Hammadi, talking about the Matrix, and I've even found the Matrix in the cuneiform. Interesting, right? I've started, and of course, let me not forget, most importantly, the literal ancient teachings that have been passed down through the mystery schools for thousands of years that perfectly explain the quantum field and how we interact with the quantum field is, of course, the Hermetic principles or the Hermetic laws. So all that combined for me made me realize really quickly that this is a type of simulation. And of course, NDEs have just added to that. And everything I've read and researched with NDEs, folks, it all goes hand in hand with the Hermetic laws, with the explanations of this being, and quantum physics of this being a type of simulation. You can call it a holographic simulation. It doesn't matter particularly exactly what kind of simulation it is, but it is a type of simulation. It's a constructed reality. It was intelligently designed, and we are conscious beings having a human experience. The body, the human avatar, is the headset, folks, okay? See, nowadays we have really advanced video games that are being designed, and I don't know if you guys have ever actually played a virtual reality game, but I'm telling you, it's a trip. It really is. So we got our kids years ago, and we hardly play it because it kind of messes with your eyes, and it gets uncomfortable after you play it for about 20 minutes. But we got our kids years ago for Christmas as their main gift, the PlayStation 4 VR headset. So we have one of these at my house. And we don't have that many games, but there is this one game. It's Resident Evil VR. And the game it's a trip, folks. If you haven't tried a VR game where you actually put a headset on, you should try it, because it'll make all this make a lot more sense to you, what we're going to be talking about here. But in this game, you use the controller to move around, but when you, as far as your hearing and your vision goes, you are totally tapped into the game. And you're in there, and it's a 360 degree view, and you're looking around, and everything's in detail. I mean, it starts to trick your mind, folks, that to the point that you get lost in the game for a few minutes, and you like just become part of the game. I mean, you forget the fact that you're even holding a controller, and your mind, you start to operate in this game temporarily, like it's a temporary reality. I mean, there's this really creepy part in the game where this like decrepit old dude is chasing you around with an axe, and you're trying to hide from this person, and you know you're going through these rooms trying to find a hiding place, and there's like this one room, and there's this chair, and I always kind of duck behind this chair, and you're ducked behind this chair, and you can peek over the edge, and you see the guy come in with the axe, and he's looking around for you. I mean, I kid you not, folks. It is, I mean, it starts to pull you in. It really does. The game is a pretty freaky game because, like I said, it's a Resident Evil game, you know, with zombies and all kinds of stuff, you know. It's a trip. And that's just, I mean, that VR headset came out like, what, 6-7 years ago? I mean, we bought that when we were still living in Colorado, and we've been in North Carolina now for about 6 years. So, yeah, that's been out for a while. And so, anyways, folks, if you ever get a chance, check out a VR, like where you actually put the headset on and the hearing, so you're kind of tapped into it. At least your visual and your hearing perceptions are tapped into it. And they are working on virtual reality games right now that add touch and different senses, smell and stuff. I mean, there will be a time, folks, where there'll be virtual reality games where it'll tap into all your senses. So, look, once you've experienced a game like that, you start to realize, like, look, it's not a crazy thing to see that this is a type of simulation we're in. But like I said, you're not putting on a VR headset. It's the VR headset in this game, this world, this simulation is the human body. The human body is the spacesuit, the headset that allows you to incarnate. What does incarnate mean, folks? It just means you're tapping into this realm. It's kind of like our brains are like a receiver, you know. It's like picks up like signals, you know, like your old antennas on your TV and stuff, you know, your old radio, you know, antennas and stuff. The brain kind of acts like a receiver. It picks up frequencies, and it's interesting, folks. I mean, this is a highly advanced technology. The body is a technology. The body is a construct, and it was designed to allow spirit, conscious energy from a higher dimension, from a higher vibratory level, to be able to tap into this realm for a limited time while the headset operates, right? And eventually, just like everything in this realm, folks, follows the law of entropy. That means everything in this realm degrades and eventually, you know, breaks down, turns to dust, whatever. Gets reincorporated back into this realm. So the body's no different, folks. Like, you know, even your own Bible says it, right? Dust to dust, right? Look at all the ancient texts that talk about humans being made from clay. In the Bible, the cuneiform, Enki and Ninmah, right? Enki and Ninmah cuneiform tablet. Look at the Atrahasis. It talks about how they mix the, you know, elements of the earth with the, you know, with the blood of the slain god, you know, that they sacrificed to give life to the first Adam, to the first avatar body. And they transferred his spirit to that body is what they really did. But then you look at, like, even the Greek, right? Athena, you know, they show there's ancient depictions of the Greek gods, you know, creating humankind, like almost like a clay, like almost creating it out of clay. This is a normal allegory that you find in all the ancient mythologies and religions. It's really interesting, folks. But look, the ancients understood that we are spirit. See, this has been lost information. This was known for a long time, that we are not humans trying to become spiritual beings. We are spiritual beings having a human experience temporarily. Once the body, the headset, breaks down and no longer functions, once the brain dies, it cuts off the connection to spirit, the transmission ends, and the spirit leaves the body and goes back home to the higher dimension. Folks, this has all been taught. See, what I've been telling you guys is I'm just teaching you, reteaching you what humanity has always known and what humanity has lost. I'm not trying to tell you guys anything new, like maybe a newer concept and understanding of it, like with the quantum field and such, but I'm not reinventing the wheel, so to speak. I'm just connecting the dots. Look, some people, they just like to read the Bible. Some just like to read, ancient mythology. Some are, maybe Hindus. They only like to read the Hindu, the Vedic texts and such, the Sanskrit. Some focus on just, quantum physics and the science. Some focus on, materialism, or you could call it the more material physics, right? Which most of our scientists are still brainwashed into believing is the absolute truth. I mean, I don't know how you can claim to be a physicist right now, folks, if you deny quantum physics. I mean, talk about outdated, holy smokes. But look, that's all I'm doing, folks. I'm just trying to teach you about what we've always known. Now, once you can wrap your mind around all this, now you've probably heard of NPCs being thrown around. What is an NPC? It means it can stand for non-player character or non-playable character. What does that mean? Well, if you guys have ever played like a video game, kind of an open sandbox, virtual world, like Skyrim. I like to bring up Skyrim because it's one of my favorite games. It's a beautiful game, absolutely beautiful game. Well, there's these characters called NPCs in the game. They're like AI algorithm controlled characters in the game. They play a part. Now, they're limited in what they can do. They only operate purely on their programming. They don't operate outside of the programming. So most of them are going to be like your merchants in the game that sell you stuff, like the quest givers. They're going to be like the like sometimes there's companions you pick up in the game that are with you temporarily, or maybe you have quests and you have to have an AI companion go with you into a dungeon. Yada yada yada. You get what I'm getting at right here, folks. They're the characters that make the game seem like a real world. They fill the game up with characters that you can interact with. However, they're limited on their interactions just based on their programmed reactions to your actions in the game. So the reason why this is a big topic right now, folks, is because what we're seeing with humanity right now, especially coming out of the last 4 years and 5 years with this, the whole thing that happened to everybody, that was perpetrated on everybody, right? By powerful people that had an agenda to change the world and bring in their world tyranny, and this whole demic thing was a part of their plan. And but what brought out the NPC thing was that people are starting to notice that there's a lot of human beings that act like programmed NPCs. They cannot change their way of thinking. They are not open to new ideas. They operate solely on programming. And most of them, you'll find, are hardcore religious people. They're they're hardcore academic people on the left, and most of those in both parties are hardcore believers in mainstream media, that they're telling the truth to them, that they can't believe that everything's always been a lie and a scam. It's like, it doesn't matter what you show them, what you say to them. They're just stick their fingers in their ears and blah, 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 blah. I don't want to hear you. Blah, 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 blah. Because, folks, these people are programmed characters. And yes, those of you on the far right, religious, indoctrinated people, you are part of the programming. I get it all the time where people on the right are like, I'm not an NPC. Don't you know the only way to escape the Matrix is the Bible? Oh man. I mean, these people literally don't understand that the Bible is part of the Matrix. It was literally written by the Elohim, by the characters that were setting up the game, and they became the game masters, or they were the game masters, and they decided to directly jump in the game and set themselves up as gods and to deceive us. And they got deep in this realm, and they've been so long in the simulation and in the polarity, the duality, that they have been away from the light for a long time, and they've become just the complete embodiment of tyranny in this realm. Yeah, they wrote your Bible, folks. Yeah. I mean, come on, man. Yeshua was not a religious person. He was not a church person. Okay? That was all created by man. Okay? Yeshua was a student of the Essenes. He was a follower of the mystery school teachings, the order of Melchizedek. He understood all of this. He was trying to teach us that this is not the real realm we come from. Okay? He was trying to teach us that we are gods. We are, don't you know ye are gods? The kingdom of heaven is within. That's your source energy, folks, is within you. We all are fractals of God. He wasn't teaching people that they had to worship him to go to heaven. That's ridiculous. And he never said he was Yahweh. Never. That's all church. That's all religious talk, okay? That's all part of the programming. So I laugh when Christians sit there and tell me that you're wrong. Us Christians are the only way out of the Matrix. The Bible's the only ticket out. Jesus Christ is the only way to salvation for your spirit. Folks, there is not one single NDE I have ever listened to, even the Christian-based NDEs. I have noticed there are these like Christian-based NDE channels on YouTube that try to put this spin on people that have the hell experience and all that, right? Just to try to keep it, because they know that they're losing. They know that they're losing the information war here. They know that they're losing the propaganda war. And so they're trying everything they can to reel people back in. I've listened to some of those just to see the manipulation in these accounts. Like they'll look, folks, I've listened to many of them where they talk about experiencing hell. Well, you know why? It's because even when on the other side, people admit it's because their whole life they committed sins, or they were so indoctrinated into church thinking that the heaven and hell paradigm that they thought they deserved to go to hell. They were so afraid of it to the moment they crossed over, that they were going to go to hell, that maybe they weren't a perfect Christian, perfect Catholic. So what happens? Well, they manifested a hellscape when they cross over. And then there's some that because the first place you go, folks, is the void, the womb of the earth, the void. That's the first place you go when you pop out of the body. Well, it's this blackness. But you got to understand, folks, it's as above, so below. When you come into this realm, you go into your mother's womb, and then you go through the tunnel out into the light. You pop out the hole, right? Without being descriptive. You get the meaning. And then you're incarnate into this realm. Well, when you cross over, folks, when the body pops or when the spirit pops out of the body, the spirit goes back into the womb, but it's not the mother's womb, it's the womb of the earth. And then eventually you see the light and you go towards the light, and now you're in the realm we come from. See, it's the reverse. As above, so below. As below, so above. It's not hard to figure out here, folks. Look, this is simple if you really think about it. But those that experience the hell, it's because they manifested it. They created that thought form. They created that temporary reality, because we are master co-creators with Source. We are gods, folks, okay? And I'm not ever going to step down from that. For those of you that yell and claim I'm saying blasphemies and I'm being like Lucifer and all this and that, folks, you're ignorant, okay? Like I said, Yeshua taught the same thing. They created that hellscape. They experienced it, and as soon as they wanted out or they called for help, they got yanked out of it and brought up to heaven, okay? You know how many people don't experience that? Atheists and such that didn't even believe in an afterlife. They didn't experience that because they weren't indoctrinated into that here. They weren't carrying over that memory and creating that thought form, that temporary existence. See where I'm getting at, folks? I'm telling you, religion is part of the matrix, okay? It's not heavenly. It's earthly. It always has been. So these Christians that go crazy on me all the time, that I've gotten all kinds of threats and nasty, you're going to burn in hell, MFer, and all this stuff. So there's this like little thing called, you're an NPC. You are so indoctrinated from the time you were born. It's been pounded into your head every Sunday. You know, the whole narrative, especially if you went to like a fiery Baptist church or something, or one of these crazy cult churches, you know. That's what you've been programmed. You're an NPC. And the reason I call you an NPC is because you cannot break out of your programming. You solely operate on the programming you've been taught. You cannot look outside the box. Did you know if you fold the cross up, folks, it's a cube. It's a cube. It's the same cube of Mecca that the Islam walks around. It's the same cube that the Judeans wear on their forehead when they pray at the Wailing Wall and such. It's the black cube of Saturn. It's always been a representation of the Abrahamic faith. Okay? And it's not a good thing. What it means is that it's putting your spirit into a box. It's locking your spirit, your mind, your consciousness into a box. Don't you get it? They have to tell you to your face, folks, what they're doing to you. And they do it through symbology, through allegories. They trick you. You're a god. You should be able to see through the freaking programming. You're a god. You should be able to see through the trickery. But most of us get tricked. And yes, at some point, we all get tricked, right? We all get tricked. This realm is designed to trick us all the time, to hide the truth, to lie to us. And that's because those that came and designed the game, they manipulated it that way so they could stay in power. Because this became more important to them than the higher dimensions. I don't know. They fell in love with the quote unquote physical reality, the third dimension. But you see these people on the left, same thing. Oh, I'm an academic. I don't believe in that superstitious religious stuff. I'm not programmed. I went to Harvard. Oh, look at me. I went to 8 years of college to get my doctorate. And now I'm completely indoctrinated. Doctor, right? Indoctrinated. You get it, folks? I mean, my God. So they're the same. I only believe in the Big Bang Theory, and I only believe in Darwinism. This quantum physics stuff is hocus pocus. Not proven. It's a theory. Just like your Darwin theory is just a theory, right? Big Bang. Well, I can't explain where it all came from nothing, but that meat sack in an electric freaking wheelchair, Hawkins, he told me that it is possible for something to come out of nothing. So I believe it. It's not God, it's just it's science. I was blinded by science, right? Remember that song? That weird 80s song, Blinded by Science? I'm telling you, folks, look, those that are NPCs are those that are indoctrinated, that cannot, under any circumstances, look outside the box. Because the lie is more comfortable to them. The illusion, the Maya. They want to stay in Plato's cave. They don't want to leave the cave. Look, the person that escapes the cave and they come back into the cave to tell everybody, hey, guys, it's just a cave. It's an illusion. They're just tricking us with light and with theater and stuff. You know, look, guys, I'm trying to help you guys. Here, join me. Grab my hand. I'll walk you out of the cave. You'll know that it was just all a trick, right? So that's what it is, folks. We're trying to wake these people up, and they don't want to be woken up, okay? Because the lie is more comforting to them than the truth. And it doesn't matter, left, right, religious, not religious. These people are all indoctrinated. They're NPCs, most of them. They believe the mainstream media. They believe what their parents taught them. They believe what school taught them. They believe what their university taught them. They believe what their pastor taught them. They actually believe that this book is like ultimate truth. I mean, the funny thing is, though, none of them ever really researched the Old Testament. I'd say a good majority of your so-called Christians have never even read the whole Old Testament, because they know that when they start reading it, they feel a nasty stirring inside, right? They're like, something's just not right about this, but I've been told this is Yeshua, so I got to believe it, right? Yeah, Yeshua was Yahweh, yeah. Yeah, I've been told that, so I gotta believe it, even though I'm not really comfortable with all the, like, weird, like, dismissing of peoples and plagues and pestilences and wipe out this town, wipe out that town, and take these people as slaves and have concubine wives. And, I mean, come on, sacrifices, well, that was just back then. Pastor Dan told me that's just how it was back then. I mean, that's how these people really are. I mean, and they say they're not, they say that they've broken out of the Matrix. It's so funny, folks. I would actually say a very small percentage of people actually have broken their mind outside of the Matrix programming. I would probably say it's less than probably 10% of the people in the world, if you really want to be honest. I mean, look at your grandparents, you know, great people. They were good people. They were, you know, God-fearing people, just lived honest lives, most of them. And, well, we're told, right? Now, we do know back in the days, a lot of nasty stuff happened in households, and it was kept quiet in the community. It wasn't, you know, like today where it all gets thrown on the media or in the social media and all that and exposed, right? So there was a lot of nasty stuff that did happen back then that just flew below the radar, right? However, you get what I'm saying. But they grew up believing that you trust the media, the newspapers, the magazines, the Cronkite and Dan Rather. These guys telling us the truth. They telling us straight up how it is. Not understanding that the media is an arm of the globalists, of these certain people, I'll just leave it at that, if you can read between the lines, that control the world banking. They control the world media. They claim to be special people, but when you really trace them all back, you literally find out these are literally the devil's children, okay? I mean, in my opinion, Yahweh is not the God of the universe. He's not the creator of all. He's not the source of all creation. So you start to realize who these people are. Now, the God of this realm is the demiurge, and, so if you're worshiping the God of this realm, then obviously you're not worshiping the creator, okay? I'm just being honest, folks. Look, NPCs, are you on or are you not? Are you willing to break outside the box? How many of you that will go under my comments and spout all this, biblical verses and stuff, right? Scripture. Hosea 25:4 says this, blah, blah, blah. Jeremiah 22:1 says this, blah, blah, blah. Like, folks, you're throwing bullshit at me, bro. Like, do I care what any of your scripture says? My God, if I was to turn around and show you put the scripture in front of your face about Yahweh demanding sacrifices and wiping out all these people and pestilence, look what he did to the Egyptian people, right? Oh, what about all those babies at Passover? Oh, yeah. Well, they were evil children. They were Egyptian children, right? They deserved it. They were following the false gods of Egypt. I mean, I put that in front of your face, you're just going to ignore it. See, that's what these apologists always do, folks. Oh, yeah, they find these flowery verses, God will stand for me, God will protect me and love me. And I don't know, all that, you know what I'm getting at. Look, but then you throw the verses in front of their face about how he's a psychotic, jealous, angry God, the creator of all would be none of those, right? Then all of a sudden they shut up. They don't say anything after that. But these people are a joke, folks. Like, look, I start to question sometimes, are there really NPCs? And are these people really 100% programmed? And they cannot break out of their programming. So they just operate as filler people for the Matrix. And maybe there's some that don't even have a spirit, that aren't conscious, pure consciousness, that are just a type of programmed entity in this realm that fills the spaces, that follows the dictates of the rulers of this realm to trick the rest of us. Have you thought about that? We're going to go deeper into this tomorrow, folks. We're going to call this part 1. It's a Monday. I got to get in and get to work here. But something to think about and ponder, right? Just think about that. And did I offend some of you? Probably. And did I mean to? Well, look, if you're an NPC, you're an NPC. I'm sorry. But if you're a free thinker, you're probably not going to get upset about what I talk about, because you're probably at a point in your life where you're willing to look at things critically and, be open to new things. So anyways, guys, hey, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Make sure you come jump over on Exit the Matrix Reborn. Links in the description. And join me on X also and any other platforms I'm on. Look, the reason why a lot of this is as bad as it was is because people weren't jumping over to X. I've been trying to build X for 3 years now, and I've only gotten like 2,000 followers over there, okay? I have a 180,000 page, follower page on Exit the Matrix Facebook. So if more of you had jumped over, I wouldn't have lost so many people, the connection. Anyways, guys, if you're interested in a one-on-one Zoom with me, hit me up in the comments, and we could try to set that up. My time for your donation, your help with building Exit the Matrix. And hey guys, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you later.